Last time in Roadcraft, we compared two cargo trucks on an impromptu test delivering transformers to see which one was fastest. And the results were really cool. We tested the Alsys C400 versus the MTK, is that what it is? Prosecco. We did the same thing through the same swamp run with them to see which one would be faster, because I thought it'd be kind of fun because I like both of those trucks. And to my surprise, it was a over 9 minute course. They finished within 2 seconds of one another. And so I said, we're going to do another video where we do a dedicated empirical test. It's just for fun. It doesn't matter which cargo truck is faster or anything like that. Of course not, but it's fun. And you got to be curious to know just which one is better at what. Now, they finished within 2 seconds of one another. It's clear that the Alsys C400 was faster, and it's clear that the Prosecco was faster through the mud. So I wanted to build a track that could test all of that and just be a good, solid track. And that's what we got set up right here. We're on the map Deluge. Now, so the title of the video is probably something like, I built a test track. That's what we're doing today. We're building a test track. Don't think that I built a mod for this. We're doing it in-game. We could build a mod map for that. That'd be a whole different thing. I don't know how to do that yet, right? But, so to be clear, we're doing it in the game. I've got it laid out, but there's some stuff that I want to build here. We're going to do that, and then maybe not today, maybe the next video, we're going to test these trucks against one another, but we're going to run it some today. I'm going to show it to you. We're going to build some custom things for it and talk about some other stuff we can do. First, let's have a look at the course. So that's what we're doing here, and it's going to be really cool. It's going to be totally really cool. I thought this was a great place to start any racetrack because here we have a long straightaway. You need a long straightaway, you need some sharp corners because you want to weed out the Prosecco's horrible handling, right? You want to allow the Alsys C400, for instance, to shine with its good stability and high speed on the straightaway. You want to have some deep muddy sections where things like the Prosecco with its huge tires can come in handy. And you want to have some stuff to make maybe vehicles with blades on the front have some difficulty. You want to have a little bit of everything. So right here, you can see how we have it laid out. We'll run through it, but the finish line is right here, marked by the crane. We're going to pull some other stuff in here. I got some more ideas for this. First, let's run the course. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Is it a cool idea? I think it's a cool idea, at least if nothing else for fun. So starting here from the crane, I thought that'd be a good place to put it. Now here on the Deluge map, this is a road that you have to build pretty early on. Midway maybe through the map. Yeah, maybe midway through the map, you build that road there for a railroad track. So everyone's got that road. So we're just going to follow these markers here. Should have a decent amount, and we're going to see. But, and there's some other things too I wanted to discuss regarding the markers. Okay, so here you're meant to follow this road between these markers. Well, I would say that ideally you cut a straight line between the markers, but where there's a road, you would follow the road. Now, right here, it gets really, oh, not here, it's the next puddle, the next puddle, it gets really deep. In fact, almost drowning this truck, but only just for a moment, which I think is perfect because even if it floods your engine, it's only for a moment and you'll pull back out of it. Oh, it didn't that time. So yeah, you go through that right there. Then we're going up through here. Now, one thing this track is missing is like a real steep grade, and that's one thing we're going to be putting in today. So here we got a couple little trees to go through, little tree trunks. I guess just kind of knock down that tree, come through here into the sand quarry, and here it's just a matter of going around this container, around the hump of sand, and then straight out into the forest. We're going to bail off the road here, off into the forest. I think I know a place where we could put in a good steep grade for the trucks to climb. And I might make it more complicated than just a grade. It might have kind of like a whoops factor to it. Like it might have a couple of peaks. I think would be a great idea. Test, see if the vehicles get high centered or like for instance, when we were doing that, when we ran that run of the Alsys C400 versus the Prosecco, right at the very end, the Alsys C400, which was so fast, it lost a bunch of time because its front bumper, because it's a low hanging vehicle, and its front bumper slammed into the ground and it lost a bunch of time. So I think something like, I'm thinking right up here actually, we could have a right out of this, just have a steep climb right out of this, maybe with a couple of peaks, and then bring the vehicle back down where this is kind of the last bit up here. And it's actually good because I am literally at my marker limit. As a side note, as I found out when doing this, there's a there's a maximum limit to how many markers you can place on a map. We're at the limit. So there's some other ideas that we could talk about on marking the map. Like, if this is a cool course and I decide, like, we want to keep using this, could go around the map, collect barrels and line barrels up and make the course. That'd be kind of cool, maybe. So this is the last muddy section through here. I don't think this is too bad. No, this is pretty good. This is meant to carry some speed. And you can carry some speed down here, and then down at the end of this, right? Are we at the home stretch? I think we are. You can start getting some speed here, and then you get a 90-degree turn onto the, I guess you could call it the final straightaway, right? Yeah. There's also another idea I had. I haven't done this stuff yet. I thought it'd be fun to kind of work this out here in the video and take your guys' suggestions if you think it's cool. So there's that turn right there. That's going to hurt the per second. It'll have to back up and make that a 2-point turn. Another idea is we could put like small rocks or some kind of obstacle someplace on the track where the trucks would have to run over it, which I think could be cool. And then, yeah, and then here's the finish line right there. That's the track. I think it'll work pretty well. It's not too long. Where we tested the trucks at in the last video, we were going through this swamp down here, about kind of where my cursor is going right here. This is where we ran them, and this is a great place for it. But I like the inclusion of a straightaway, and I was going to build a straightaway, but then I remembered this is already here. Here's the other beautiful part about this. It's within driving distance of this industrial base. It's in driving distance of the base. In fact, let's get another vehicle out here because there's some more stuff that we want to do straight away. Not just to call in the vehicles, which actually I hadn't thought of that. I actually didn't think of that. Not to call in the vehicles, but because we have, for instance, here on Deluge, if you've played the map, you know, if you've completed most of the objectives or even halfway through the objectives, then you're going to have a lot of concrete slabs like I do up there. You see I have 40 of them. Well, we may want to test the trucks on the track laden with concrete. You know, we may want to, or we may want to test them laden and unladen. You know, we want to test them, you know, as someone suggested, a comment suggested in the previous video, maybe try them without a bunch of weight in the bed. Well, having this parked, we're going to park this on the start-finish line, and with this guy here, we'll be able to pull out, and we've already got the crane there, so we can park this there, and that's why I thought about having this, so we could pull out concrete slabs and load up the trucks if necessary. So what we'll do is, there's a lot more building I could do here. I thought it'd be cool, as I'm really basically done with this map. I'm like 97% complete. There's like 2 side objectives, but anyway, basically done with this map. So let's just build a cool, you know, racetrack for trucks on it. I think that'd be kind of neat. So we can stage a whole bunch of stuff here at the start line. Like we can have this here to call on some concrete slabs. Heck, you know, I mentioned, you know, you could put barrels along the track to mark it. I mean, we could do other things to decorate the track as well. You know, haul in junk from other parts of the map. If we were going to put obstacles to run over, this right here might be a good... no, never mind. I was going to say this would be a good spot because that narrow funnel would help keep the crap contained on the road. You know, so it doesn't get scattered off the road. But now that's a bad place for it. We wouldn't want it there because this is our straightaway. This is straightaway for speed, but also for... some trucks aren't very stable at high speed. Some trucks, it's easy to kind of swerve off this and, you know... Let's park this guy. Let's just park him right here by the crane. There's some ground here. We could spawn concrete slabs here to load in the trucks. Then when we're done with that truck, we can just park it back in the square and just have it suck it back out of the truck, right? We don't have to unload the truck. That was the idea of bringing this down here. Why don't we call this in a dump truck? Big dump truck. Here we go. Big guy. And we should be within quarry range because... you build this road here, and usually roads are built within quarry range. I believe this one is. Get this up here. Well, I need to get this turned around. We're going to head down and look at making a slope to climb. Right here, this is where I was looking at putting that, and that is far outside of quarry range. You know, I just had a thought. We literally go through a sand quarry on the way out there. You think we can park the sand scalper here and get sand? It doesn't look like the usual places on the side of the road where you're like meant to park that thing, but that is a whole little, yeah, you got to be able to get sand from there. I just thought of that because we don't have much sand left in the truck after losing bit by bit down the road. I bet we could park the sand scalper up there at that quarry. So what we'll do is, yeah, we'll have to we'll use the that Warden, whatever it's called. No, not the Warden. That's already parked at the finish line. I mean, we'll use the other thing, the ugly green one. I forget what it is. The ugly green mobile base vehicle thing. I just forget the name of it. So, like, right here, just where I was thinking. Yeah. Like, let me get between these two markers here. The Stranix, that's what it's called, right? The Stranic or something, Stranix. Let's put it right here. Little obstacle for the trucks to climb over. It shouldn't be a problem for any, see who gets high centered coming over that. But I wanted to put more, though, so here's what we'll do. We're going to pull this up over here. Alright, so this was just an idea. I finally got the Strunic out here. It was not easy. It was not easy because this thing can't even drive the course. It can't ford that much water, so we got it out here, though. We're going to find a place off the course where we can park it, and we'll call in the sand scalper. Now that we're better on the sand. I mean, we're kind of angled a little bit, but there we go. Hey, it works. If it works, it works. We're going to make sure it works, but it looks like, yeah, it's active now. I got this barely inside the radius. All right. Now we can fill this up some. So we're going to go down there, and I'm going to work on our little thing there. We're going to add some, like, I believe I did use the word whoops. Yeah, kind of like that, but for big, heavy trucks. So not like, I mean, like, maybe 2 peaks. Just like maybe 2 peaks. Just enough to test to see if it gets the bumper hung. I don't know. We're going to feel it out. And if it turns out that it's not like the right kind of obstacle for a truck, then we got a bulldozer, right? It's only too bad we can't scoop the dirt back up. I'm hoping that in the future they give us some kind of like excavator. I know a lot of y'all said the same thing about that. That would be cool. I wish we had a way to scoop some of the dirt back up. So I should be able to get over there pretty easily from here without losing much of the sand. If we cut straight through this without tipping, then we might just not lose any at all. Cut a perfect straight line. Don't tilt the truck. Guys, I didn't hear a single grain of sand tip out. Awesome. And it's not tearing up the track either because the track is right here. All right, so we're going to dump another one of these. So that gives us a steep incline to climb out of the swamp. And then, what am I on? Am I on something? Can't tell. No. All right, maybe right here. Let's dump the whole thing right here. Let's see how that looks. That could be pretty rough. I mean, but that's the idea. I mean, that's the idea. Let's get in a cargo truck and give this guy a try. What do you guys think? It doesn't matter. We're taking a truck, and I was taking too long to decide, so it's like, hey, let's just take this one. This is one of the ones we tested previously, and one of the first ones I want to do, because this was what kind of spawned the idea. The whole idea spawned when I was driving this truck in a previous video a little while ago, when it first came out-ish. No, it was when the test server came out. I was driving this on the test server on that one of the new maps, which 2 days from now, by the way, guys, yeah, today is September 2nd. 2 days from today, the Rebuild expansion goes live. Also, expansions for SnowRunner and Expeditions as well. But anyway, yeah, so all the stuff on the test server, and I'll be covering all that here on the channel, so I'll have a lot. Definitely expect videos here at least once a day. I try to have videos every day, but for sure, once the Rebuild expansion comes out, I will have daily content as much as I can get out on that. Let's test this guy just completely unladen through this track. This thing will make it through. I have no doubts this will make it through just fine. Yeah, because this whole idea came about, like as I was saying, you know, when I drove this thing and saw how insanely capable it was. It doesn't look too special, but the thing that makes this such a good truck is, well, it's got 2 axles, the front 2 axles turn, and the other thing is the insane amount of contact patch this truck has underneath it. With 12 wheels, it's got 12 wheels on the ground. There's not much place for it to get high centered or anything, because pretty much, you know, it's almost like it's one step away from a tracked vehicle because you have so much contact with the ground across the entire undercarriage, you know, the chassis, right? So that makes it, that gives it good traction. And then of course it's got a snorkel that's above the rear of the cab, so you could have the entire front of the cab entirely submerged, but as long as the rear of the cab is above the water, you're good. So this can go through more water than probably about anything. We lined it up next to the Prosecco at the end of last video. Oh yeah, so we're going through the truck now, obviously we're on the course. Yeah, so we lined it up next to the Prosecco, and their air filters look like they're at the same height, even though of course its is above, you know, the Prosecco's air filter is on its hood. Its hood looked about level with the top of this truck's cab. Let's see how we do up here. Yeah, this truck is definitely slower through the mud. It goes through the mud. I haven't had it stop yet. I've not yet had this truck stuck. Fun fact. Maybe I just haven't driven it enough. You drive anything enough, it'll get stuck, right? But I haven't had this stuck yet. But it doesn't go as fast. Now, up here, I'm going to keep it in high and see if we can race through this. Right here, it's going to get really darn deep. Oh, look at that. I put it in low. Well, the idea was if I had kept it in high, maybe I'd have speed to carry me through it, but it wasn't necessary. That is like exactly as deep. It's too deep for some vehicles, but I think that if you've driven enough, then you've seen it happen where you can flood your engine, but then you can kind of roll out of it and the engine will start back up. I think that's just right, that even vehicles that's too deep for, I think could still make it. We'll see. I mean, we'll find out. I think vehicles with blades in the front might have issues. Okay, right there, the front bumper hit. Yeah, that's this thing's weak point. For a vehicle that goes through the mud so well, yeah, this thing has a really low bumper. But I think it just makes it through the mud because you've got 8-wheel drive, you know? All right, now we're going through this part here, but it made it through the deepest part, so none of this is going to be too deep. And we're going to kind of have to, I kind of judge like when to put them in low or whatever. I try to keep them out of low. Like if they start slipping, I'll put them in low for a second. I'll take it back off, and I try to keep it off if I can. Just whatever I feel is getting to move the fastest. Yeah, now I'm interested to see how it handles these two humps of sand up here. You know, is that a decent obstacle? I don't know. I don't know. Well, let's see if we can get some speed through this. Get some speed through this. Well, let's see if we can... I mean, this thing definitely churns through the mud. Wow, that is quite the obstacle. You can always smooth it over with the bulldozer. Well, let's see what happens. I wanted it coming right out of the water. Yeah, no, that's what I thought would happen. So this obstacle is going to be really hard for this truck because this truck's got a low bumper. Also, this has zero testing. We'll want to bring other trucks on this and test this out. Yeah, I want to bring something with more bumper clearance on it. Oh, and I didn't even think about it. I will be running a timer just so I can see. We're not racing anything today. This video's going on long enough. We're just seeing what the track is going to be, right? But I'm probably running a timer. I will put it in editing just so we can get an idea of what the lap times will be like. Like, I don't know what we can expect. It feels pretty long, but I think that it's a decent length track. However long it takes, I don't know, but the length of it feels good. We got a good amount of mud. We got a good amount of bumpiness and curviness and straightaway. But we're almost, we're getting there to the end. Come on, truck. Come on, truck. So those two big bumps, tell me what you think in the comments below. I mean, we can modify it. It was, I thought of it literally right before I started recording. It was going to be just one big incline, which might still be the way to go. I might just make it one big incline, but then the idea came about to make it two bumps, which to intentionally catch the bumper or high center the vehicle, you know, to bring out the obstacles in the course or to bring out the different weaknesses of the trucks, right? And I think it still might be good. I think maybe we'll have to level off the second hump. I'd want to bring the Prosecco through here. It's going to be the one that can conquer that kind of obstacle the best because it has the highest ground clearance and the biggest tires. So if it can make it through that, you know, then maybe that's just the one trouble spot for this vehicle. But this vehicle definitely shines right here where we can get up to maximum speed. If I take off my... I don't think differential lock and four-wheel drive slow it down, but I'll take that stuff off anyway. There we go. There's a full lap of our track. I might take the Prosecco over it, see how that does, and maybe smooth over the second hump on that obstacle, or maybe we'll just make it one big incline. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and comments down below. I'll definitely read your comments. I want to see what you guys think, what you think we should do, and what do you think of the whole project? I think it's an interesting idea. I mentioned it like a month ago, so probably, that I wanted to build a test track to test vehicles on. And I had this idea to build a test track in the game, but I didn't have a good idea of where to put it. Well, we found a great place to start building. This is near a base. It's got an already paved straightaway. It's near a base for easy access. Look, we could even use those cliffs back there. See those cliffs behind me back there? We could even use those cliffs back there. Be sure to tell me what you think in the comments down below. I'm going to swap over to the links and do some more scouting on the track. I will catch you guys tomorrow with another Roadcraft video. We're going to have some farming simulator as well because we're working on the farm in Montana. So I'll see you there or in the next Roadcraft video tomorrow. Thanks a lot, guys. Peace out.